All right, folks, I'm really excited about this video series. I don't know how many videos it's even going to turn out to, but it's going to be great. So this is a story of our kitchen going from this to this. Okay, and it started. I actually so we moved up to northern Minnesota from the cities. It was a difficult move. I mean, we lived in a camper trailer for a couple years while building. You know, it's a building project, and things did not go quite as I'd planned. Parts of it went really smoothly, parts of it did not. We lived in that ramshackle kitchen for a number of years. So we live off grid. So we initially didn't even have our power system hooked up. So we would use a generator and then just start it up in the morning, run it midday, run it in the evening, and then we would keep the refrigerator closed the rest of the time. So it would keep in the cool, and I would actually fill water jugs or milk jugs with water, freeze those during the day, put them in the refrigerator at night to help keep it cold in there. But the rule was you could only open the refrigerator 3 times a day because you had to keep the cool air in there. And that was how we ran. And I mean, I got crazy stories I could tell you out of that, but let me just tell you, it was difficult. Then we finally got a few batteries. We were able to store a little bit of power. We got a couple small panels that actually the guy who installed our solar system borrowed us, so we could use those before we got up our first bank of solar panels, our second bank of solar panels, and our battery bank that we have today, and the house runs great now. Okay, but our kitchen, did not get done for a long period of time because we needed to pull together. We were trying to do this with cash. We didn't want to take out loans and be in debt. I mean, that was part of the problem during the housing crash when my income got cut by 2/3. And then I found a way to replace that income, but it was kind of a longer term play where I got paid out over the, in 3 installments, and I couldn't make my house payments, and I had to do a short sale on my home. And then we're living in a camper trailer and all of that. But we just wanted to move up here and raise our kids up here. So the kitchen, I'm sitting in it right now. You can see these nice countertops. A friend of mine was up for, and I had milled the wood. Actually, let me just make one point. The cabinets are made out of wood milled from our land, okay? And when a friend of mine who comes up for deer hunting, his name's Vinny, he had an oak tree go down in his yard, big oak tree, and he'd actually milled it up, and he'd used some of it to make tables for himself. And he said, "Hey Neil, I got this wood if you want it." And so, but the tree had some rot in it, and you're gonna see this in this series of videos. In fact, I'm gonna put a picture in right now, and you can see in this picture that there was a lot to deal with in this wood, okay? And I didn't start doing this video right away. I hadn't thought of it. This was actually during the coronavirus pandemic, and I had some time, and I got busy with this. This took a long time, okay, to get that wood. I mean, I had to actually glue some together. It was big cracks. There was some rot, different things I had to work around. You're gonna get to see the whole process of it as it gets turned into, but I did not start it. When you see it, it will be glued together, okay? That was at the point that I started recording the video. But basically, what I had to do was use guides, run a skill saw on it, get rid of the bad stuff, and trim that down. And you will see a little bit of that, me jointing edges and cutting some of the pieces that were for other aspects. So you'll be able to kind of get where that all goes. But I wish I would have started videoing just a little bit earlier. But still, you're going to get the bulk of the project, just not some of the gluing together and some of that initial ripping. But as you can see from those pictures that we showed before, it was rough stock that we started with, and we're gonna get into now some of the initial work at my friend Paul Mueller's shop, and how we started working with this wood to get it to turn in to these beautiful countertops. And also we had some the cabinets, although it's wood from my land. I did not build the cabinets myself. I actually had it was an Amish guy down outside of Brainerd. He did a great job. These cabinets are beautiful. He took my rough wood that I had milled up here on the property and let air dry for a number of years, just sitting out there covered with tarps. And he took that wood and turned it into these beautiful cabinets that are right here behind me. And so we got the cabinets installed. Then we put in the countertop. We had to get a new oven. I built some concrete countertops along the way. You're gonna see that. And also the sink. We had to put in a new sink. And so the kitchen turned out beautiful. Like I said, it went from this to this. And it involved a lot of work. But we're gonna start with the initial part of the project right now. Jeremiah.
Hi.
Hi, yeah, so here we are. We're making countertops. Now, we had the slabs, but the crack here, you see, was so big. You see, I actually cut that. So cut that down, the whole thing, we ripped that, and then we just glued it back together. We didn't joint it or anything because it's a matching cut, and any minor imperfections, we just decided were good enough. Sometimes you can overwork this. It's really key when you're doing this to label. So you can see I've got my left side. So this is going on the left side of the sink. And then I had my glue joints labeled so that everything just fits back together the way it's supposed to. A lot of clamps, okay? You can see this. I mean, a lot of clamps, a lot of glue. It's gonna be a kitchen cabinet, or a kitchen countertop, excuse me, and we don't want that to be. But this has been challenging to work with. You can see over here, some of these slabs were not big enough. So this was all right here, this slab, this was all the more width I could get out of it. I had some bad stuff on the back. Jeremiah, go grab that aluminum dealie over there. We'll show them that. And fortunately, I got a friend with this wood shop. But I love doing a lot of wood. Get the longer one, bud. So, but then we cut another piece, and you can see this is, rough milled wood. So this is not gonna come out exactly perfect. I mean, we do the best we can. We beat it with mallets to get this. Jeremiah's got, this is what we use to straight line these. So here it is. It is the Pro 8-foot aluminum. It is a straight edge guide, okay? So we can clamp that on the boards and then use a saw, just a skill saw, and then cut these down and get it ripped with a straight edge. And then we do have a joiner here in this shop, right there. Jeremiah's by the joiner. So we use that handy joiner to joint the edges and then glue it. And then this is, we're gonna run through this 37-inch wide sander. So Paul just picked up a belt for that, so we're gonna be able to do that. That's what we got going on here. So it's a lot of wood. It's a lot of doing, but the results are gonna be really cool. And I can't wait to show you those because I think that's gonna be the best part of this whole thing, is just looking at it when it's all done. But right now we're having to just glue on to the back because this stuff isn't a full 25.5 inches wide, and the cabinets are 24 inches deep, and then we want about 1.5 inches of overhang, and that's gonna vary because we're running a live edge. So right here, we've got the live edge, and up here we'll have to draw knife some of this. We got the draw knife. We have to fix the little cracks. See, again, this takes a lot of time. Okay, this takes a lot of time. This is not a quick process, okay? So if you're thinking you're gonna just do this quick, it's not gonna happen unless maybe you got some perfect wood you're working with that's wide enough and doesn't have the rot. But we're working to get rid of that rot right there. So we can and to maximize the material, we're just gonna go up here. We're gonna start our 45 here, and we're gonna carry it back. And you can see I line that out with some, so you can see those red marks. So that 45 will then drop all of this off. Our cracks are small enough we can fill those. So we glued this back together, okay? Because that was coming apart. I'm telling you, we had this dried. My friend Paul, whose shop we're using, also has a kiln. And that, so Paul has a kiln, and we utilize that kiln to get this done. And that was great, but of course, once you dry that wood, all those cracks showed up. So we'll get back to you in a little bit. Hey, Jeremiah, there you are, man. Hey, so this is, how do you get a straight edge when you got a live edge like this? And especially when you can't even clamp it. So we have to clamp up like this, okay? So we're gonna clamp. Jeremiah's down here, he's clamped. We gotta make sure that that wood is above the bottom so it doesn't hang up on the table saw, okay? So we clamp this so then we can attach the straight edge. And this straight edge, we've already looked at this, we've measured this out, so you can see we're gonna be just beyond this because we wanna save all this wood because we're making a breakfast bar top with this. And so anyhow, what we do with this now is we get that edge real straight so we can then glue to that edge. And we've got a glue. Where's that other piece, Jeremiah? What piece are we gluing to it? Is it that one? Yeah, I think it's that piece right there. We're gonna glue that to get the thank you, to get the edge back. So anyways, we'll just attach this. We've already measured and we've already got marks right there. We'll bring this up to the edge, and then we use this aluminum as the guide. When we run it through the table saw, that's gonna just straighten this edge out so then we can glue to it, and that is how we get it done, and that's how we're gonna get this bar top done, all right? All right, so we're just gonna run this through. Jeremiah, show them the setup now, and we gotta get that, you know, it's heavy, it's cumbersome, but that's it.